Leaf fans, remember in 2018 when William Nylander had that contract holdout that went deep into the season, and finally, after hearing about it every day on every outlet, he finally got signed almost right before the December 1st deadline, and then proceeded to have the worst season of his NHL career? That must feel like such a distant memory for Leaf fans, or not even real for a lot of Leaf fans with what he is now. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say that he's been the Leafs' best player this season, or at least in the top two for those people who are saying, what do you mean Auston Matthews scores a hat trick like every day? And this rise of William Nylander in the past 3 years or so has been pretty crazy because it's always been Matthews number one, Marner number two, or sometimes those two were interchangeable when Marner would go absolutely insane. But Nylander was always kind of solidified as that third guy in the core four, or even in the era of the three young superstars like after the Phil Kessel, Dion Phaneuf era. And for a while there, especially after that awful 2018-19 season he had, he was just considered a good player. Yeah, he'll get you 20 goals, 60 points. He's alright, and his contract reflects that right now. Compare that to what Matthews and Marner got. That tells you where William Nylander was on the totem pole for a long time with the Leafs. And I say was because Nylander's really transformed into a bona fide top-of-the-lineup superstar. I know he spends a lot of the time on the second line with John Tavares, but there's been a lot of games in the past 2-3 years where Nylander's been unquestionably the best player for the Leafs on the ice. And the crazy progression on his stat line reflects that. In that game against the Flames 2 days ago, Nylander was by far and away the best Leafs player on the ice. And again last night against the Canucks, he scored another beauty to extend his point streak to 15 games, dude. Not only does he lead the team in points, he's also tied for 4th in the entire league in points. All this while taking the TTC to get to the game. What a legend. And I feel like this is such an interesting thing to talk about, not just because of what he's developed into as a player, but also we've heard the rumors that he wants over $10 million and that the Leafs have been kind of reluctant to give him that much. But with the way he's playing, how could you say no at this point? He's just gone out and proved even more that he deserves that money. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what about Nylander in the playoffs? Get rid of him. And look, I know he's been far from perfect in the playoffs, but when the Leafs needed a guy to step up, I don't think people give Nylander enough credit for how much he did step up compared to especially Matthews and Marner. And sure, I guess you could say, oh, you can't win with them. But players this talented don't grow on trees, and they're really, really hard to get and to keep. So if the Leafs are willing to part with this guy, there'll be teams lined up out the door to grab him. I honestly think he's going to put up 100 points this year if he stays healthy. And if he does, I mean, like, for a pending UFA, what's the value on that going to look like? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe for more Leafs videos if you want to see it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.